Okay, anybody else needs to sign up? We're getting ready to start a special presentation. We're running a couple minutes late, so
That is if you want to speak at the end of the meeting.
Are these people that want it or don't want it?
Ladies, hey, I need
Let me double check here and make sure I'm...
I'm going to go ahead and get started, Jason, and y'all feel free to walk up here on to the clerk's office to sign up to speak, and we'll try to get this 15-minute presentation out of the way.
You looking good?
So with that, I'm going to call this special presentation to order and turn the podium over to Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of City Council, I appreciate you affording me 15 minutes of your time before a regular City Council meeting, and I'm going to try to cut to the chase. I'll be brief and try to cut to the chase. You've seen on your agenda that I'm asking for a budget amendment, and I am. I'm also asking for some fiscal guidance. I know we've got a new finance director, we've got a new mayor, and we all want to live up to your expectations regarding budgeting and the proper amendment process. If you'll let me put on my city attorney's hat for just a second and talk a little bit about fiscal law. Just public fiscal finance, standard process requires both an appropriation and an authorization to spend public funds. The process of appropriation is legislative in nature. That is the City Council's purview to say, to tell the city, to tell a public servant, you may spend public dollars on this, and you can define this to be as broadly or narrowly as you deem appropriate. The act of appropriation is executive in nature. That's for the mayor's policies to take place, for our control mechanisms, for fiscal control, for to make sure we've got proper accounting, that we're bidding when we're supposed to, and such as that. You kind of view it as a pyramid. At the top of that pyramid is legislative appropriations. You step down to the executive will of the city and the executive policies, and then down to the administration of a budget, where people are writing checks and buying things that the city needs. You can kind of see the difference between the different things, different types of expenditures that are made by the city in the tabs of the worksheets that I'd emailed out, I think, Friday. I put hard copies on your desk in front of you. And to start, I have Exhibit A, which is Tab A, which shows the specific line items that I intend to at least ask you to amend in my budget. There's 70 some odd lines there of the 217 line items that are in my budget. If you'll look at the first two, just for an example, the vehicle insurance, liability insurance is $111,000, a little over that, where it was anticipated in the budget to be $80,000. Our bond trustee funds likewise came in a little over. That's why that number is exact. If you consider appropriations to be by line item appropriations, honestly, those checks shouldn't have been cut without coming in and asking City Council for permission to cut those checks. You can view the budget in that way if you choose to do so, but it's going to cause a lot of administrative difficulty in coming in from time to time when expenditures exceed their estimated amounts. If you'll look at the second tab, the tab B, that kind of gives you a different illustration of where our budget is right now in the electric department. It's broken out by, I guess you'd say, departments within the departments. The different 16 different departments within the department, and the expenditures that are made in each by O&M, capital expenditures, and replacement expenditures. That's how we categorize expenditures in the electric department. If you consider appropriations to be by these categories and by these expenditures, we still had one expenditure that went over. You can see the highlighted $286,000 on Department 587, line 12, which was spent on smart meters. The amendment that I'd be asking for, if you view the appropriation process in this manner, the amendment that I'd be asking for is outlined below in the as amended version, the second chart below that. Kind of a third way that you can view appropriations is under the tab C. If you just look at the big numbers, you say how much are you appropriating for O&M of the electric department, capital expenses at the electric department, or replacement expenses at the electric department. As you can see, I'm still asking for those numbers to be amended. No matter whether you use tab A, tab B, or tab C, I'm projecting a budget shortfall this year of about $1.5 million. In other words, that we're going to spend $1.5 million over what is currently allocated in the budget. If you'd like to know in the short version of where are those expenses, I'd direct you back to the tab A worksheet. If you look in the middle of the page, the Galloway substation work that is continuing has about a $550,000 expenditure that was not budgeted. That amount reflects contract retainage that we are liable for. I can't explain to you why it was not in the budget, but it is certainly a liability of the city. If you'll turn the page and see in the middle, Department 560, Category C, Line 1, Packing Box Unit 1, has a current budget of $1.5 million with a proposed budget of $2,139,913. That reflects expenditures that were appropriated in 2012 but were not incurred until 2013. So they were appropriated in last year's budget, but we didn't incur them during last year's fiscal cycle. All of that money, whether it was last year or this year, was all projected to come out of the bonds. This is just an administrative process of allocating those funds during this current fiscal cycle for expenditure, if that makes sense. To turn to the last page, I'd like you to direct your attention to two items. In Department 580, Category R, Line 40, you'll see that also we'd ordered vehicles in 2012. We have about $220,000 of expenditures that they were ordered in 2012. There were funds appropriated in 2012, but the vehicles didn't show up in 2012. They showed up in 2013. And they were not budgeted for 2013, but that's when we incurred the expense, and I'd ask for those funds to be appropriated. And then last, our replacement meter budget is short. This is our smart meter budget. I believe that when the budget was prepared for 2013, it was prepared based on the rate of installation of meters in 2012. We were having some difficulty getting our meters installed in a timely fashion. We met with our contractors, and they were responsive. They refocused their efforts. They got the right people on the job. And where we were installing about 400 meters a month, we're now installing about 400 meters a week. So we're moving a lot faster, moving through the stock faster, and we want to continue deploying those meters, and we need to allocate the funds to do so. All told, when you add all that up, that's about $2.25 million of expenditures that are over the current budget, which I'm proposing to make up 2/3 of that money, or $1.5 million, out of our 2012 bond issue, and to make up the remainder of it by reallocating current expenditures. I certainly don't want to come in here right now and ask the city to extend more debt or dip into our cash reserves. I don't believe that would be prudent for us to do that at this time. That summarizes, I guess, what I'm asking for. Depending on how you view appropriations, I'd ask that you attach tab A, B, or C as your choice. But also to attach tab D to allow for the expenditure of our 2012 bond funds to fill the gap. Beyond that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Questions? Ms. Ross?
Does this have to be voted on tonight?
We do have bills that are waiting to be paid. If it would help if we're not going to vote on it tonight, I'd ask that we had a special meeting.
Any other questions? Does everybody understand Actually, that's legislation that we'll vote on later unless, I mean, we haven't even called this regular meeting to order yet. So, Ms. Ross?
Yeah, I have some questions. The smart meters, are these remote read meters that you're installing now?
We have, this fiscal year, we have not ordered a single meter except those that are remote disconnect.
Okay, that was one of my questions.
Ms. White?
How many more smart meters, what's the percentage of meters that are installed about right now?
We've recently passed the 20,000 meter mark, and I'd say we're approaching 21,000 if I just had to kind of interpolate about where we were at right now. With total residential meters, we're probably looking at 34, 35,000, somewhere in that range. So if we stay on current pace, I think all residential meters will be deployed probably early next fall, about a year from now.
Yes, ma'am.
The smart grid infrastructure outage management system was reduced from 250,000 to 10,000?
Yes.
What is that? I mean, what?
The smart grid system or self-healing grid that was kind of on the project list that we were looking at deploying, intelligent switching systems that communicate with one another to reroute power. That's been slid to the right on the calendar. It's just one thing that we can't get to right now. Okay. And you know, we'll continue to study it, we'll continue to talk about it, but we're really looking for the point at which that's going to become more financially feasible before we proceed.
Okay, and then what's hydro communications? It was 200,000 and it's reduced to 0.
Yes, we were exploring another fiber line out to the hydro plant for fiber communications. Fiber is expensive, and one of the things I've directed our staff to do is to see if there's not a more cost-effective solution. We have to have 24/7 communications out there. We have to. We've got a T1 leased line to run data out to the hydro plant, and hydro is what a lot of the switching and a lot of the metering devices, I'm sorry, fiber is what a lot of the switching and metering devices work off of. So we certainly don't want to go to any kind of product that's non-standard. We want everything to work seamlessly. And right now it's working fine. Don't get me wrong, everything's working fine. But at some point in time, we're probably going to want to make another fiber run out to the hydro.
Okay, and one other thing, conservation was cut from 200,000 to 0. Does this mean that there will not be any free energy audits, or?
No, this doesn't impact energy audits whatsoever. That's all personnel costs. We had money in the budget for like a conservation strategic plan, and that's another one of those items that's been slid to the right on the calendar. We got enough on our plate to do, and we need to do that when it fits into our budget better.
We're still working on sustainability, but not at the level that we were. Jill Ponder's wearing several hats right now, so we didn't fill that position this year.
Okay.
Mr. Fouch?
Why was there a $600,000 increase in that packing that was required on Unit 1?
That $600,000 was money that was actually appropriated in 2012, and we didn't incur the expense until 2013. So really, all of that $2.1 million that you're looking at was always contemplated to come out of our bond issue. It's just a matter of having the appropriation to allow the funds to flow and allow for payment, if that answers your question.
But that would have been a carryover?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me see if I got this straight. So other than the 900,000 for the meters, the 550,000 for Galloway, and the 639,000 for hydro, you're looking basically at a difference of about $541,000 then, correct? Does that sound about right?
No.
Okay. Object to the form of the question. I don't know. I feel like I'm being deposed.
Well, I mean, those three are basically the bulk of this, correct?
Yeah, well, and I think I had identified, I think 4 of them. One of them was $200,000, but
Right.
about $2 million for big 3 expenditures.
Okay.
And that's the bulk of it.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. So, but you've made other cuts to compensate, so. Okay.
That's been kind of right. That was the angle, and I guess Alderman Ross on point. I felt it my mission when looking at our budgetary problems to not incur debt, to not cut into our cash that we are trying to accumulate, but to reallocate and prioritize our expenditures, what is most important over what is less important, and let the budget reflect that.
That's what I was, okay.
Okay.
Ms. White?
One more question. Just an example of one thing that was reallocated, just Just anything that comes off that,
Well, there's a
Sustainability.
lot in here. And really, if you look at the Exhibit A is probably some of the best things that you can, best way to get an idea about funds that were reallocated from one thing to another.
I got it.
Because all of those lines that are orange, just because I didn't want to make them red, but all the lines that are orange are lines that are increasing in amount. All of the lines that are green are decreasing in amount. So you can see, like for example, we had a line item to update our integrated resource plan. Once again, that's a strategic plan that we thought was better to slide to maybe next year, and get that done next year, and to reallocate the remaining $45,000 or so in that line item to something that was more important for right now. Was that an adequate answer?
that's fine, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. We'll come back during the legislation, and if there's any more questions, I can ask them at that point in time.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, I'm going to close this special presentation. I saw we had several people walk in just recently. If you want to speak on a piece of legislation, you need to come up and see the city clerk and sign up to speak on that piece of legislation. And if you want to speak at the public comment section, you need to sign up now. I'm going to give everybody about a minute, maybe two, to do that, and then we'll call the regular scheduled meeting. So anybody wanting to speak that hadn't already signed up, raise your hand. I see anybody? Seeing none? Okay. Well, let's call this meeting to order. Linda, Ms. Marshall, if you want to, we'll call this meeting to order. And if you'll call the roll, please.
Here.
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 Robinson. Here. Baxter.
Here.
Fouch.
Here.
Height. Here. And Witcher.
Present.
A quorum is present, Your Honor.
Thank you. Alderman Baxter is going to lead us in prayer and pledge. Bill, stand.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to come before you, for citizens of this city, conduct the business of this city. We ask that you'd be with us. Let us make wise decisions, be pleasing in your eyes, as well as our constituents. We ask you to be with each and every employee of our city, watch and guide them, especially our first responders. We'd also like to just special prayer out for our military members serving at home and abroad. Ask that you just watch over them and bring them back home safely to their families. Just continue to bless us in each and everything that we do. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So moved.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
Okay, communications. Anyone wanting communications to be pulled?
Number 4, please.
Pull number 4.
Hold on.
Any others?
Yes. Hold on,
Number what?
I'm getting there.
Don't confuse me.
2, I think it's 2. I think it's 2. Yes, 2. Thank
All
you.
right, we're pulling 2. Okay, do I have a motion to approve all others?
So moved. Second.
Second, on the motion?
On the motion, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
You want number 2 read in its entirety?
No, just by title, and if I could just make one comment.
Okay. Number 2, by title, please.
An email from Alderman White regarding Arkansas online article by Andy Davis regarding adult obesity.
All I wanted to add is that we're still in this initiative in North Little Rock. We're working hard for our employees and for our community people to offer them healthy options, and I just want to let you know we haven't arrived yet in Arkansas, but we're still working really hard.
Thank you. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
For Alderman Taylor.
In its entirety, please.
Dear Alderman, we are writing in response to a notice for a conditional or special use posted by one of our owners of the property at 425 Whitehead Drive in North Little Rock. As a property owner on Whitehead Drive, we would like to express our vote against any mobile homes being allowed to be placed on property on the street. It is our understanding that even though we are not in the city limits, we are within a certain zone that is governed by regulations of the city limits. This zone should regulate the placement of mobile homes and not allow any more to be placed on the street. Even though there are several mobile homes on the street now, it is our understanding that those that were already there are grandfathered in, but once they are gone, they should not be allowed to be back on the properties. Our sole purpose for this opposition of this conditional or special use is for the protection of our property values. Again, as property owners on the street, we would like to preserve and improve the value of our properties as much as possible. Many of us have built nice homes that would like to gain in value as the housing market strengthens. We feel like the addition of mobile homes will diminish our property value in the long run, especially multiple mobile homes placed on land owned by the same person. There are already 3 homes on a piece of property owned by the individual at 425 Whitehead Drive, 1 brick home, 1 mobile home, and 1 smaller home that was moved in and placed behind the brick home. We respectfully request that the conditional or special use for granting a mobile home on this land be denied. Respectfully submitted, concerned property owners on Whitehead Drive, Tammy Thomas.
Second.
On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson? Yes. Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
Okay, at this point in time everyone that signed up has an opportunity to speak. It looks like we have about 10. Most are on the particular legislation of that letter regarded to. So I'll just go down the list. Remember that we've got a 3-minute max, okay? And so we'll start out with Ms. Whitlock. Yes, ma'am, please. Come to the podium and speak into the microphone so everybody at home can hear what you're saying.
My name is Tanya Whitlock, and I live at 911 Whitehead Drive. And I'm in opposition of the special use for the mobile home, even though, again, as stated in the letter, there are several mobile homes on the property. I'm not looking to remove any of those, just to prevent future ones coming in down the road so we can all improve our property values there, since we've kind of been rezoned. It's my understanding that we're in a zone now where it's single-family residential, and I just wanted to kind of improve the integrity of the property values out there.
Thank you. I believe it's Ms. Brady, Carol Brady? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Carol Bradley, and I live at 310 Whitehead Drive. I've lived there 28 years. There are mobile homes on the properties that have been grandfathered in. There have been property, did you receive the pictures and did everyone receive those?
Mm-hmm.
One of the pictures is there's been 2 or 3 moved in since the homes were built out there. I think if you'll look on the back of that one back picture, there is a camper trailer in the yard with the
She doesn't have one.
utilities running across the yard. This is across in front of some of these homes. And Mr. Pack takes care of his property really well. If you've ever been out there, you would know that his property is well taken care of. I live across the street from him. I have a mobile home on my property as well. I have a house and a mobile home. So I feel that he should be able to put that on that 2 acres of property of his.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Pack?
Hello. My name is Jerry Pack, and one of the statements that she made was wrong. I've got 7 acres. I've got 5 acres, which my 3 residents are on, and I've got an individual 2 acres for the mobile home. Her uncle and Tammy Thomas's husband's uncle sold the trailer, original trailer. He's my father-in-law. Had been there 23 years. Mother-in-law died. He got blind, had to move in with his son. So this is personal. I have got every person on that road to sign, have agreed to putting this mobile home in, with the exception of the two families. Even the side roads, they have all agreed to put it in. They didn't think it was trash when they moved in. There were 7 trailers down that road. Now, she's got one across from her house. I've got pictures of it where you can see it. The sewer lines and everything are up there. Nobody's complaining. I don't have a problem with it. But all of a sudden, it got too good for her and the other complainer. So this is what we're dealing with right now. It's personal. It's between me and the Thomas family. And she's the brother of the Thomas. And like I say, I guess that's all I got to say. I put it on there, but the trailer, I first bought the 2 acres a month after I bought my 5 acres to put my mother and father-in-law's mobile home there that was going to buy one. They were buying the house next door, so they sold them that trailer. It's an individual 2-acre trailer done got with Butler Engineering, going to put a plot on it, a plat, got sewer, water, electric, and gas. They saw me one weekend digging into hunting my field lines, and that's when they probably burnt the phone up Monday, calling whoever they called. So that's all I say. You know, I hope you can do it for the person we're trying to get it for. Thank you.
Thank you. Vicki Musgrove.
My name is Vicki Musgrove. I live at 408 Whitehead Drive. I live right across the street from the Packs. I live in a mobile home on my mother's land. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if there's personal issues. However, I was a realtor, and I can tell you that when these people bought their property, the place still looks just like it did 28 years ago when my mother built her house there. It's not been improved other than their nice homes. It's not going to affect their property values. As a matter of fact, one of our neighbors stated that his property value, even with the mobile homes out there, had increased. So it's not a matter of the property values. It's not a messy area. It's well maintained. I just don't have a problem with it, and I don't see that any of the neighbors will be affected in a negative manner. So if y'all would take a look at the information he gave you in the photos, you'll see that his property is not a problem. And the trailer is going to be set on 2 acres, separate from his. So it will have its own 2-acre lot. So I don't know why it would be an issue.
Thank you, ma'am. Dennis Whitlock. Pass. Cass?
My name is Cass Kowalski. I live at 606 Whitehead Drive, basically across the street from Mr. Pack. When the zoning issue came up, I spent 2 days here listening, and I spoke to council, and I knew one of the problems was the city wasn't really aware that that street had almost as many trailers on as it did houses. Most of the people owning the trailers and the house on the property. I tried to bring it to the attention of the city that if y'all just arbitrarily close your eyes and say everything is R2, that street, which is a private street, dead ends, it's just basically a small community. I asked on behalf of other concerned citizens that couldn't come to the meeting and asked me to bring it up. One of the reasons for that is exactly what is happening today. There is no advantage. Now, I understand about the extraterritorial rights and all that. I got that lesson. But there is no advantage to the city of North Little Rock or disadvantage. There is only an advantage that most of the neighbors like the community the way it is. Now, I love Tammy, Tom, they live across the street from me too, and Mr. Pack. I don't know what the problem is, but as you can see, the majority of the people want to be left alone as is. And I tried, not being a prophet, but I just knew this was going to happen. It happened a lot sooner than I thought it. And there's no reason for any of this. I think Mr. Pack should have his trailer. There was a trailer in that exact spot. Why? Basically, the families that are living there now lived there then when that trailer was there. There's other trailers, as you heard. And I just ask for the consideration that I didn't get when it was zoned, that we get it now. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next on the list is Mr. Butler, but I don't know what he's wanting to talk about. Pass. John Goodan, R13-154. Pass. Okay. Thank you very much for all of your professional comments. We appreciate it. Let's go to unfinished business. We have none. Consent agenda, I know we want to pull 154. Any others? Anybody want anything else? Ms. Ross?
153, 154, 155, and 156.
153, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, do I have a motion on all remaining resolutions that aren't being pulled?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Several of those were commission appointments. Holly Lewis, the Library Commission. Is Holly here? Mike Smith to Employee Retirement. Toby Burkett to the Airport Commission. Great young man. Bruce Waller, who watches our Bunny Parks and Rec. So, thank you all for your past service, and those new coming on, thank you for your future service. Okay, with that, let's pull 13-153.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the North Little Rock Firefighters Local Number 35.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Second, do we have any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
Now, I just want to say that I'm thrilled that the antique fire truck finally has a home. And I did not realize that the Local 35 had paid for that building where it will be stored there behind Central. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's going to have a place to stay.
Thank you. On the motion?
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
154, Mayor Hayes.
Please call it.
A resolution authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an agreement with Arkansas Regional Innovation Hub, Inc., appropriating $50,000 from the general fund.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Amendments.
Questions? Amendment? Yes, we need to, the amendment was already put out. I think everybody has a copy of the amendment that really just covered some of the body, was mislanguage. So do I have a motion to amend that's been...
Move.
So move.
On the motion to amend, Ms. Marshall?
On the motion to amend.
Did
Ross?
we get a second? Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
Questions, comments? Ms. White?
Mayor, with your permission, could I pass out something to the council members?
Absolutely.
All right. Would you each take one of each one of those sheets, please?
Again.
Mayor, what I'd like to do is just illustrate something. The community garden program gets $50,000 a year, and we have an extremely detailed process. I kind of call it counting paper clips to distribute this money. And I'm sending out around some of the forms, the MOU and our evaluation form. Most of you haven't seen this. In addition, I don't have a copy for everybody, but I do have one of the full applications from one of our gardens. And what I want to illustrate is, I'm hearing from the community a concern over accountability and how when we give lots of money out to different nonprofits, how it's spent. And though I think we have tweaked our law recently to have more accountability, and I think that's really good. I just wanted you to know that we've gone many steps down the road, and all on the advice of our legal department, because we've had situations that came up that we weren't sure what to do, how to direct our gardeners to spend their money. We evaluate each application in detail, and it's given out. It's not all given out in one lump. It's given out according to them turning in their receipts. And I think this is a time to mention here we have another organization asking for $50,000, and we are also giving our garden people in the community who are volunteers basically in the community, and we're asking them to report back a lot of detail. So I'm bringing this up as something that is going on. I don't say that this is not completely, well, it's not exactly the same, a little apples and oranges, but it's still the same amount of money that we're giving out, and we're being the citizens are being very accountable for that money. So I would be glad to share the application with anyone who'd like to see it afterward. But I wanted to bring it up in relation to this because we have had some citizen comment about money given to nonprofits and not knowing exactly what's done with it.
Great. Ms. Robinson?
Several meetings ago, I think that this council decided that anytime, we gave money to nonprofits, that they would report or give a yearly report
That's correct.
back to us. And so with this, I kind of looked through here and I didn't see that. That may be a part of this, but I didn't see it. But, we should hold them to the same standard
Right.
that we're holding.
This is brand new,
Right.
so they have no last year.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but they would give a report to us at the end of this agreement or prior to?
Everybody that we give money to, everybody that leases from us is required in January to give us a report of what they did the year before.
Okay.
So this organization would be no exception. Counselor?
Yes, Mayor. Actually, if you go to paragraph 5
Okay.
on the second page of Exhibit A, and you go down to letter F, it discusses actually providing the city an annual report.
Okay.
Okay. Mayor?
Mr. Witcher?
Okay. All right. With the initial filing of 154, there's been an awful lot of confusion and discussion. Could you get somebody, or could you kind of go over what's going to occur with this operation?
What's the what?
With this operation?
What's it for?
With the money.
Oh, what's
what
it for?
they're going to do, yeah.
Well, it certainly would be for operations, but if Mr. Gadan's here, if you want to talk to him, he's on that board. I'll certainly bring him up.
I think that probably would help, because the initial filing had some misinformation in it, and there have been a lot of comments about that. And I think this probably would help if Mr. Gadan kind of talked about his program a little bit.
Sure, Mayor, Council, thank you for having me. Yeah, the Arkansas Regional Innovation Hub is a regional program to attract entrepreneurs, startup companies, existing companies, and expansion of existing companies, and also a collaboration and network built with the schools, universities, state, federal, and local government to attract and retain talent in basically North Little Rock, Arkansas. And the request for funding is startup costs for the nonprofit. The nonprofit that we're establishing, well, at the request of the Delta Regional Authority and the startup board and the volunteers that have been working on the project, hired an executive director, getting office space, computers, everything that needs to get in place to kind of launch a nonprofit.
We were very pleased to see that Warwick Saban has agreed to come over and spearhead this, so he's a great young man.
Okay. One more thing, Mayor. At some time in the near future, I think it would probably be nice to run the advertising clip that they've produced telling about the Innovation Center. And when people see that, I think they'll really be excited about what's occurring down there. So,
I agree. Let's go right here, Mr. Fauch.
In paragraph 3 of this agreement that we have here, this $50,000 is the amount of the contribution is approximately equal to the cost of the services provided to or for the benefit of the city. If this is all startup cost, what benefit are we accruing for this $50,000?
The contacts and the network that we've already developed in meeting with the governor, the head of UA Systems, Delta Regional Authority, North Little Rock High School superintendent, assistant superintendent, the network that's already been built out, and the amount of jobs and commitments that are already ongoing into the community, into the Innovation Center, would benefit North Little Rock.
Mr. Height?
I know this 50,000 is for startup costs. Is this a one-time or is this going to be an annual request? And the second question I have, after you answer that, is down the road, do you foresee yourself being self-sustaining, and how are you going to achieve that purpose, that objective?
I guess the third question kind of encapsulated the other two questions, maybe. A lot of the hubs around the country similar to this. The federal government has just put out a grant of $200 million for hubs just like the one that we're creating that link universities, communities, entrepreneurship, and the development of startup companies in communities. So there's federal funds that will be available. The state has come on board. We've met with the governor, Arkansas Economic Development, also the Arkansas Science Technology Authority, and the Arkansas Manufacturing Solutions. So from the state level, we've created a number of partnerships that we see as funding partners and really network partners on a go-forward basis. Cities around the country are really filling a vacuum in many communities that are interested in startup businesses and to attract and retain the best talent in their communities. And so with a lot of the federal log jams that occur, a lot of cities have taken it upon themselves, whether it's the municipalities or local investors, to generate these types of hubs because they see the economic jackpot in creating more jobs.
One final.
Go ahead.
This 50,000 that you're receiving from the city of North Little Rock is said to be an investment on our part. So how soon do you think that we can see a return on our investment?
Well, I think we're already seeing it. We hired Warwick Saban, who is a phenomenal state representative, leader in the entrepreneur communities, and I got a phone call this week from a company that wants to relocate 30 tech guys to the innovation area. So we're already starting to see some of that and that positive investment return.
Mr. Fauch.
Going back to this agreement, paragraph 2, chapter whatever, it says this is for 5 months. That's the term of this agreement. And then at the end of that 5 months, by authorization of the city council, we can extend this, but it also says, and budgetary appropriation. Does that mean at the end of 5 months, you're going to come back again and ask for an additional monies to be determined at that date?
I don't know that, Bruce. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I don't know that. We may. And that would be a decision you guys would have to make to see if you wanted to continue to invest in the hub. The request tonight is for $50,000 for startup costs. We're going to build a regional board, and the regional board will be made up of people from the area, the region, with CEOs and leaders from the educational side as well as the corporate side in the community. So it won't be my decision, it'll be a board decision on whether to seek funds from any sources at that point.
I think it's our job to attract and attain these brilliant young minds, and that's what makes, North Little Rock is going to be a special place. I see this becoming a village before it's all said and done as far as the technical aspect of it. Mr. Taylor?
I took a trip down to New Orleans to look at the Idea Village, and during their spiel, the executive director there, he was kind of telling the story of how New Orleans was losing so much of their talent to other parts of the country because the people didn't have the entrepreneurs didn't have anything to foster and nurture their businesses. And what this innovation hub will do, it will attract and it will help us maintain our talent here in North Little Rock and in Central Arkansas. We've had a collaborative effort for some time to attract and maintain people here in the city of North Little Rock. While we're losing them to Conway and to Benton and to Bryan and all these other places, we're trying to find a way to keep people here in North Little Rock where they spend their money in North Little Rock, they live in North Little Rock and shop at our grocery stores and do all the things that we like for productive citizens to do. So what this does is it helps us attract and maintain our talent. And when you've got a private and public partnership participating in something like this, it just, to me, in my opinion, it's incumbent of the city to do their part. And it's just something I just think we need to move forward on.
Any other questions, comments, Ms. Ross?
Well, I've had several calls, and all of them were, no way, not another nonprofit downtown. We're tired of all the money going downtown. And I guess one of the things that, if this is just $50,000, or is it going to be an ongoing, is it going to go up to $100,000 next year? And that was questions that they were asking me that I have no idea. The answer, I know in one of the things that we received, it showed that funding for the resource hub was coming, it would be $100,000 from North Little Rock. So I don't know if there's another $50,000 out there that's going to be up, but I know that these resource hubs, in some cities they work, and some cities they're a flop. So I guess it all depends on, and everything that I've heard, I've talked to several people lately, it all depends on the management on this. And I agree that Warwick Sabin can do the job and the follow-up on it. But as far as continuing, you said there's grants, but there's also going to be, matching some funds in that. And so I'm just curious where we're going. How much money are we going to be involved in this?
I certainly can't read the future. We're counting on Warwick Sabin to be able to come in here and be aggressive and work on grants and funding and donations, recruitment. If anybody in the state of Arkansas can do it, it's Warwick Sabin. So, him coming on board was a big selling point for me. This particular hub could be anywhere in the city, and I would be for it. It would work just as well in Park Hill, just as well in Rose City, just as well in Amboy. It just happens to be with the building and the facilities down here and the partnership with the Art Connection. I think it's a perfect fit. Ms. Robinson?
One of the things that I just want to make a comment is that some of the emails that I got was regarding this amendment prior to the new language or the strike-through, where it says providing public safety services, aesthetic improvement services, health and sanitation service, and promotion and marketing services. And a lot of the emails that I got, they were concerned that this money was going for cleaning up sidewalks, planting a garden, and stuff like that. And so I don't think that the public would have access, would they not, to this amendment prior to? I'm asking the city attorney.
I believe we submitted this amendment this morning,
Okay,
and I do believe it is available online. So at least online it would be available.
okay then. So those were the emails that I got that were against it, but those are now strike-throughs, so they're no longer part of this legislation. So in case they're listening, they know that it's been
Ms. White?
changed.
And just one more thing. As we have this enhanced community services agreement, what I plan to do at the end of the year is to look at those organizations that have submitted theirs to see if what's being reported is sufficient for us to know how we're spending our money, which is really, it wasn't the concept of the hub that I was objecting to. It's our we have people that feel that we're not being transparent enough. So
May I suggest that we don't wait till the end of the year? Let's start now, and let's work on it and get the system worked out between now and the first year when we, or at least until November or December when we're working on next year's budget. Because I don't have, the more transparent, the better as far as I'm concerned. So if you'll work with legal and your fellow council members, let's come up with something that'll make everybody happy.
sounds good.
I feel that this is a good program. I guess the questions that are running through my mind now is that for small business owners who are interested in, taking a part in this, you all will have some type of advertisement for a person who wants to start up a new business?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Ms. Ross?
And to follow up on several of the calls too, as far as mingling the funds, this, in the agreement, it does say that these funds will be kept separate from any other funds, and these funds are subject to FOIA. So if anyone wants to know what these funds have been used for, they can definitely FOIA. They can, Freedom of Information Act, they can request the information. And like Mr. Carter said, getting down to paper clips and everything, and I know that's what people want to see. They want to see where the paperclip money's going, and put some, quotient to it or some numbers to the outcome.
Okay, how about a motion to adopt as amended?
No move.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross,
Yes, but no more money this year. That's it.
White,
For the other-
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
I just see this as a money spender. No.
Height
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes. If it's all right with everyone, I'm going to jump just a little bit. Let's go on over to 01376 and deal with that issue so these people that want to can go home, because I think about half of the audience is waiting on that. There's no reason to go through. Any objections to that?
To jump into 01376?
Yeah.
No objection. I have
All right, go.
request,
Yes?
and this would apply to all the amendments, all the ordinances tonight, that we waive the required three readings and deal with each ordinance as they come up tonight without having to go through the three required
You want to waive all readings for the evening?
That'd be my motion unless there's an objection to
That's
it.
a proper motion. Do I have a second?
Wait, what are we on?
Second.
What's he wanting to do?
We're waiving all readings for ordinances tonight.
Okay.
We read them, but we just don't read them three times.
Point of order, please. I think we have to do that on each
You have to.
ordinance,
Yeah.
Mayor.
No.
Individually.
No, I've already checked. Our legal counsel says we can do that. We can do a blanket for the entire evening. We can't do it for, yeah. Vote against it if you don't want to. I don't care.
Okay,
On the motion.
On the motion.
Do I have a motion and a second? Yep. All right, on the motion.
And this is on what? What are we voting?
This is to waive all readings tonight on ordinances.
No.
White,
This is to waive all readings for the rest of the meeting?
For the ordinances. We only read
All
ordinances
the
once and
ordinances.
not three times.
I don't know. I guess no right now. No.
Mr. Taylor.
Taylor,
No.
Robinson,
No.
Baxter,
No.
Fouch,
No.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
No.
Man, I thought it was a great idea, Charlie.
It is a good idea, but
I thought it was a great idea. You just caught me off guard.
All right, well, we might try that next meeting, see if it changes. All right, let's go to 01376.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow a manufactured home in an R2 zone for a certain real property located at 523 Whitehead Drive in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move, suspend the rules and place it on third reading.
Second.
You going to the second reading?
Going to third.
Third. Suspend the rules and place it on the third reading.
Can you do that?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay. On the motion,
On the motion, to suspend the rule and place it on the third reading, Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor,
No.
No.
Baxter,
No.
Vouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes.
I think we're getting sent a message here, Charlie. How about a motion to place it on the second reading? What?
Mayor, how do you vote?
You get to
It's
vote.
5-3.
Okay. Was it 4-4?
First time he's ever had to vote.
5-3.
First time he's ever had to vote.
Mayor votes yes. All right, let's go to the third reading.
An ordinance granting a special use to allow a manufactured home in the R2 zone for a certain real property located at 523 Whitehead Drive in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. Third and final reading.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have no second.
Second.
We have a second. Are there any comments, questions? Mr. Taylor?
We've had several of these come up in Ward 3, I think it is.
The last one.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is something that we've been trying to stay away from for quite some time. Although it's not in the city limits, it does fall within our territorial jurisdiction. I just think that we'll be, I don't know if this will be good for us as a city when we're looking at expanding out east. It's really the only direction we can grow, and I don't know, just not in favor for it.
Mr. White, Mr. Height?
Mr. Vols? While he's coming up here, we had a similar issue, similar bit of legislation 3-4 months ago, correct? What's different about this one?
This is a different location.
Is that all?
One. No, it's more of a rural area with more acreage to support dwellings.
It's out Faulkner Lake Road. We ride bicycles out there pretty close to this.
It's about a half a mile south of Faulkner Lake Road
Yeah.
on Whitehead Drive.
The previous matter, was it inside the city limits or was it in the territorial?
We've had two on Aspen Drive. I think one was in the city and one was out. One was approved and one was denied. And they're really voted on a case-by-case basis.
Mr. Fouch?
While you're up here, one of the pictures that we've got was handed was for all intents and purposes, a camper and hooked up to utilities to make it look like a permanent location. What precludes, if we allow this special use, for this to go forward in any location whatsoever?
You can attach a condition to a special use, and that could put a condition on it. You could attach requirements that it be certain, not a RV. You could. We have to prosecute these cases in circuit court. So we can't send our code office out there. It is outside the city, it doesn't go to municipal court. But it is in our planning area. You can hear what they want to do, and you can attach conditions based on what they want to do, and then you could have evidence that you could take to circuit court if that didn't happen.
So by allowing the special use, this could come forward at any time, this type of RV or camper?
You can place a condition that it be a ULI trailer.
On this legislation here?
Yes.
Thank you.
Ms. Ross?
I have a question for Mr. Bowles. Okay, some of the residents said that, this is a community and it's like a private road. Is there some way, okay, let me go back. It was about a month or so ago that we had this exact same thing, and we denied the special use. and this is the exact same thing. I mean, how do we say yes now when we said no last month to that individual? With this being a private road, if it is a private road, is there some rezoning or something that they could do, have their properties rezoned?
Yes, you can go for a rezone or a special use, which are the same effect. You could zone it for...
So the whole area could be, basically like a...
It could be.
A PUD, or,
It
I mean,
could
you
be.
can't, but...
When we did this 10 years ago, we did send out notice based on the county records. We had long hearings. I think it's been positive out east. There's been a lot of nice homes on Walker's Corner that could have developed as truck repair shops and heavier uses. We did have one sexually oriented business that we used our zoning to stop that activity. Zoning has some impact on the area, but that area is developing nicely.
Okay. I was just curious if there was something that...
Well, even if it was rezoned, I mean, we don't have a zoning that covers mobile homes.
We do. We have R6, RT1, or special use permit. But we do. We have a RT1 is mobile home park, our trailer zoning. R6 allows zoning for trailers.
I stand corrected, Alderwoman.
Saddlewood, west of this, the south 2/3 or 3/4 of that is zoned to allow the addition of new trailers.
Any other comments? Mr. Baxter?
Mayor, I too would like to just, throw out there our consistency with this. The one that we recently did was in Ward 3. The difference is this isn't necessarily apples and oranges. However, this may be Granny Smith and Fuji apples, because the one that we were looking at didn't have any type of acreage attached to it. I do know, in following up with the consistency comment, that when we started looking at our ice houses, those standalone ice houses, we've been very adamant about making those things look pretty much the same throughout the city, regardless of what ward that they're in. So, just throw that out there.
Mr. Taylor?
And just on another note, I am a realtor as well, a real estate broker, been one for 15 years, and mobile homes absolutely affects property values.
Comments? Mr. Fouch?
Back to that, in what manner do they affect property values?
Mobile homes are personal property. You have to do special things to mobile homes to get financing on them. There have to be special underpinning, you have to remove the tongue and do all sorts of things to make them where they conform to residential standards. Financing on mobile homes is a bear. FHA financing or any other type of conventional, or you can't even get VA financing them. I don't think. And then it's just it brings down property values because it's
okay. That's where I was going. It brings down property values of the surrounding properties.
Absolutely, because it's you're not talking Granny Smith and whatever kind of apples you see. You're talking apples and oranges. They're just different.
Any other comments? Do I have a motion? We have a motion and a second. On the motion.
On the motion, Ross,
I'm only voting no to be consistent.
White,
No.
Taylor,
No.
Robinson,
No.
Baxter,
No.
Fouch,
No.
Height,
No.
and Witcher.
No.
Okay. Sorry. I'm going to call a 1-minute recess. If anybody wants to walk out, I'll give you the opportunity right now to leave the council chambers if you want to. You're welcome to stay. We've got a long agenda tonight, so I was giving you the opportunity to leave quietly, please. No. No, sir. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, you're welcome to stay to public comment. Back up, Jimmy.
Debbie.
Try.
Debbie.
All right.
Give your Robert's rules. You're good.
Somebody get them?
Thank you.
What's the address?
Okay, everybody, if you'll take your seats, we'll get back to the agenda. And we are at, call meeting back to order.
We got going here. Well,
Marshall, we're on R13-156, I believe. No, 155.
13155. Mayor
Please
Smith.
call it.
A resolution repealing Resolution Number 8008, which declared 708 North Magnolia Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas to be a public nuisance and condemned it.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have an amendment.
We have an amendment, okay?
Murray.
Murray. The amendment is, who's got the amendment?
Place the name in, let me find it. Y'all will just jump around here. Mr. City Attorney, I know you got it somewhere. Oh, thank you. In the first, second, third, fourth whereas, the $24,000 escrow payment should be returned to, it says Charles Wade, that should be struck out, and insert the name Andrew F. McCauley. The wrong name
Andrew
was
F.
inserted.
McCauley.
The wrong name was inserted.
Okay, we got a motion to amend by Ms. Ross. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the motion,
On
Ms.
the
Marshall?
motion to amend, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
Motion to adopt,
So moved. Second.
White, second. Any discussion on the motion?
I do. I just
Sorry.
want to say how thrilled, because this one broke my heart to condemn this house, and for, that the process does work after we condemn it, that you can do the rehab agreement. This house is just unbelievably good-looking now.
Ms. White?
And the history folks are very happy.
We like Sandra to be happy. On the motion?
On the motion to amend as adopted, adopted as amended.
Right.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
13156, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution appropriating a one-time payment of $175,000 from the general fund representing the city of North Little Rock's share to provide LED lighting on the Clinton Presidential Junction and the Main Street bridges.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Do I have a second? Do I have any comments? Ms. Ross?
I wish you would explain it.
I'll try my best. This is really like a matching grant. This year is Entergy's 100th anniversary, I believe, and they want to donate $2 million to Central Arkansas in lighting these three bridges. When the estimates came back, they came back in at about $2.4 million. And so Mayor Stola and I and Judge Valines and the Clinton Foundation and decided that it would be a good thing for us to match that, to have all three bridges lit. It will be in the LED, it'll be synchronized, we can have special events. I'm sure our Visitors Bureau and Little Rock Visitors Bureau, they're going to use this. It'll be a grand tourist attraction. I'm sure they'll have at least monthly shows, if not weekly. And so I thought it was just a wonderful opportunity for us to match that $2 million. On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
I need to abstain because of conflict of interest.
Thank you. New business.
On 13157, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution approving amounts of liens to be certified to the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real properties in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas as a result of grass cutting expenses and abatement of other nuisances.
Move for adoption.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Call a public hearing. Anyone here to speak on these liens for grass cutting? Please speak now. Seeing none. On the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes.
On 13158, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2010 Central Airport Road in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for the property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Call public hearing. Anyone here to speak on 2010 Central Airport Road? Seeing none, close public hearing on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Witcher?
Yes.
13159, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 2014 Central Airport Road in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
Have a motion.
So move.
Second.
Call public hearing. Anyone here to speak on 2014 Central Airport Road? 2014 Central Airport Road. Seeing none, close the public hearing on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
13160, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 412 Lindenhurst Drive in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for the property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Call a public hearing on 412 Lindenhurst Drive. Anyone here for that? 412 Lindenhurst Drive. Seeing none, on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
13161, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 8507 Highway 70 in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owner to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Call a public hearing. Anyone here for 8507 Highway 70? 8507 Highway 70. Seeing none, on the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
13162, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution declaring certain buildings, houses, and other structures located at 7919 Highway 70 in the city of North Little Rock to constitute a public nuisance and condemning said structures, providing a period of time for property owners to abate said nuisance.
So move.
Second.
Call a public hearing, 7919 Highway 70. 7919 Highway 70. Seeing none, on the motion. Hold it. Come ahead. Sorry. 7919 Highway 70.
My name is Terry Gunthorpe. This is Bernice Van, my mother, who owns the property. We have gone in and cleaned all this up. We don't have pictures to substantiate that. The pictures that have the holes in the roof, we've had somebody come in and put tin over that, so the structure's sound. They went up on the roof and were climbing all over the place on the roof. They didn't fall in. There was no problem there. So we would like for someone else to come out and investigate or do something. Inspect it, whatever, to see if...
Have you talked to code enforcement lately?
She wouldn't come back out.
Okay.
No, they don't.
You know that you have an opportunity to come in and put up a bond that you will agree to repair the building back to code.
No, we didn't know
No, we
anything
did
about
not
it.
know that.
Okay.
Only after.
Counselor, when do they need to come in to make that application? Is it on Thursdays or Thursday at 9 o'clock? Thursday at 9 o'clock, you have the opportunity to go to the code office, which is over on 29th Street, and meet with our attorney and tell them what you plan to do to this building, and you will have X number of days to do it, but you'll have to put up a bond in order to have the extended time period. So that would be your option. Okay?
Okay.
Mr. Fauch?
In the letter from Code, it states that there used to be a wrecker service there, and there are multiple vehicles, boats and stuff like that still on the property.
No, it's all gone.
There's still 2 or 3 boats there that I'm still trying to get rid of, and there is no wrecker there. I don't know where the wrecker came from. It's been gone.
There was
originally.
Probably 20 or 30 cars, and we've gotten rid of all of that, too. So
Thank you.
we had a service come in and take care of all that stuff.
Okay. Comments, Ms. Ross?
The rehab agreement that you can go to code, and the city attorney, Bill Brown, sit down with it, and what they do, they line out what needs to be done to bring this
Good.
back.
That's what I've been wanting.
But now that's assuming that the council does condemn it, and they will give you so many days, but you do have to put a bond that's equal to tearing the property down. In the event that you don't rehab it, then the city will still have to go in there, but you've put up the bond to pay for that. Does that explain that? No, I confused you more, I'm sorry.
Ms. White?
Look, if you notice a few pieces of legislation ago, there was a house that had been condemned, and they brought it back. They put a bond down, and they brought it back to be acceptable, to be, I call, decondemned, and the house is now livable. So this council did vote to condemn that house, but now they were able to get out of it because they fixed it up with a rehab agreement. So we may vote yes, that it'll be condemned, but you'll have this opportunity.
I'm a little bit confused on one thing. She said something in the letter about it being uninhabitable. This was never a place to live to begin with.
No.
It was strictly a shop. I mean, it's where my dad has a boat shop for 50 years, and he ran a wrecker shop out of it before that. So it's a concrete building.
Concrete block building.
Yeah, so this is a very structurally sound building.
Our attorneys can really explain that to you
Okay.
on Thursday morning.
Okay.
Any other comments? Thank you for your time. On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Richard?
Yes.
13-163, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 200 Cornish Street, a.k.a. 2002 Cornish Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
So move.
Second.
Call a public hearing on 200 Cornish, a.k.a. 202 Cornish. Anyone here to speak on that? On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Richard?
Yes.
13-164, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution certifying the amount of a cleanup lien to be filed with the Pulaski County Tax Collector against certain real property located at 202 Cornish Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas.
So move.
Second.
Call a public hearing 202 Cornish. Anyone here to speak on 202 Cornish? Seeing none.
That's what I was looking
On the motion.
Question.
Question.
Just for my own edification, but we just dealt with one that said 200 Cornish, also known as 202. Now we're dealing with a separate one just for 202.
Right, it's two structures on one,
Houses.
two houses on one lot.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew you'd answer my question.
On the motion.
Two houses.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Richard?
Yes.
13-165, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
A resolution amending the 2013 budget for the electric department.
So move.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Seeing none, Mr. Baxter.
Is this where we need to select A, B, C, or D?
Come tell us what
Yes,
to do,
it wasn't
Counselor.
attached. We've got to attach.
Pardon me, I am asking that you approve Exhibit D, which I can address your question about the 75, the $10,000 differential. It has to do with how much money was allocated in the bond versus how much was in the budget. If you look in the budget, there's actually a line item. It's 580R31, and you can see that $7,000+ differential that's showing up in the budget amount. I needed to address that briefly. He'd asked me about it prior to council. Sorry for taking your time.
Fine.
I am asking City Council to approve Exhibit or Tab D of Exhibit A as allocation of bond revenues, and then, you know, whether you choose A, B, or C, it's going to have the same function in my department. I'm just trying to get guidance as to how much oversight City Council wants. You deem each line item to be an appropriation of City Council, where if we're going to go over a line item, do I need to come back to each line item and ask for permission. I'm going to tell you that I don't think that that's happened in the past, but whatever your expectations are, I intend to live up to them. If you deem that by the department by bigger line items, so just A, B, or C, basically is on what you choose your level of oversight to be.
You know, to dumb it down just a little bit, if we had office supplies and miscellaneous supplies, and one of them went to a zero balance, it's okay to go ahead and use the other one to cover for those expenses. I mean, it's really that simple. And we have 217 line items, the electric department, I intend, and I'm sure Karen and Jason will, to cut those down substantially. It's just, it's a nightmare.
I will.
All right, so Mayor, actually, we want to adopt Exhibit A, tab C and D.
So move.
Is that correct, Counselor?
I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion and a second to amend on the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
I'm still looking, hold on. Okay, you said you're amending,
Tab, to operate by tab C and D. The D is the bond, goes to bonds, and C is general operating.
so you're not doing anything with A then?
Well, it's Exhibit A, tab C and D.
Okay, we're leaving B out. Correct? Y'all just wait a minute.
Help her, please.
You can come back to me.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
No.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
Witcher?
Yes.
White?
Ms. Ross?
Ross?
Okay, so we're amending in A, C, and D, and we're leaving out B.
No.
The whole deal is Exhibit A, tabs C and D.
Tab C and tab D.
The whole document is Exhibit A.
Well, why does it say tab A? I'm confused.
Because of the tab A, B,
There is
C,
a
and D.
tab
It's 4 tabs, 1 exhibit.
Basically, what you're doing is saying if it's, you could move money around in operation and maintenance, but you can't add money to it, and you can't put operation and maintenance over into capital or replacement expenses.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll pass.
Okay, motion carried, I believe, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the next piece of legislation.
Ordinance 1371.
1371,
Mayor Smith.
please call it.
An ordinance dissolving the North Little Rock Municipal Property Owners Improvement District, Quapaw Project Number 1, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Do I have a second? Motion to suspend the readings
Second.
on the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to read it now.
An ordinance dissolving the North Little Rock Municipal Property Owners Improvement District, Quapaw Project Number 1, declaring an emergency. Third and final reading.
Move for adoption.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
On 1372, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance dissolving the North Little Rock Municipal Property Owners Improvement District, Quapaw Project Number 2, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes. Move for adoption.
All right.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fauch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
There's not an emergency.
There's no emergency on the ordinance?
No, actually, on either one of those.
Okay. Is that correct, Counselor?
Alderman Witcher is correct. There is no emergency clause.
Okay,
And there was not one on the one you just passed.
all right. I don't guess it matters, does it?
Having voted in the affirmative, I move to reconsider 01371.
I don't think it matters, does it?
They got away.
Just, well,
Counselor, does it matter if we did an emergency and we didn't need one?
No, I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one then. Is that all right with you, Alderman Witcher?
yes, sir, I
All
guess
right.
so.
01373, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance dissolving the North Little Rock Municipal Property Owners Improvement District Quapaw Project Number 3, declaring an emergency.
Move
First
the,
reading.
motion to waive all readings.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes, move for adoption as a,
On the ordinance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Ms. Marshall?
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
yes,
01374, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance dissolving Willow Beach Municipal Improvement District Number 1 of the North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion.
On the motion, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
yes,
On the ordinance.
Need the adoption.
A motion?
move for adoption.
Second.
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
There's an emergency here.
On the emergency, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes,
Now, why is there emergency on that one?
That's,
good question.
All right, go ahead. 01375.
01375, Mayor Smith.
Call it.
An ordinance approving a request to waive the requirements of the master street plan to provide half-street improvements for Lot 8B, Block 2, McCain East Business Park, east end of East 43rd Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency.
Move, waive all
First
readings.
reading.
Do I have a second to waive?
Second,
You want a second? Mr. Witcher seconded. Question.
Mr. Voiles, please.
yes, sir.
Mr. Ward, why would we be waiving that half-street improvement? Is East 43rd Street destined to never go anywhere?
Well, the plan is if it goes somewhere, it'll need a bridge to go over that creek, and extending the road improvement to the creek would serve no purpose. If we get a bridge in, that would have to be torn out, and the later bridge project would fill in that front of the lot.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Ms. Robinson?
This East McCain, is that Ward 1? 4.
This
That is Ward 4.
It's
North
Ward-
of
Ward
McCain.
4.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, we have a motion to suspend readings and a second on the motion.
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
Yes,
Do I have a motion to adopt?
Second.
On the
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
Ms. Marshall?
Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
yes,
On the emergency, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
yes,
01377.
76?
Please call it.
We done that? 77, okay?
77.
An ordinance vacating and abandoning an access easement at Lakewood Village Shopping Center in the city of North Little Rock, declaring an emergency.
Move to suspend the rules and place it on third reading, or suspend all readings.
Spend all readings. How about second?
Second.
On the motion.
A motion, Ross.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height.
Yes.
And Witcher.
yes,
Have adopt?
move for
Move for
adoption.
adoption. Second.
No.
Question?
Another question.
Go ahead. Mr. Taylor?
Mr. Voiles?
Yes, sir.
What are we doing?
Okay, there is a individual lot separate from Lakewood Village, the triangle lot that used to be Lone Star. It has an access easement to that behind the theater. They're proposing abandoning that platted easement. The roadway from the mall, the little short connection, will be rerouted, and an easement will be provided for that, but there will be no need for this access easement. Where they're planning or proposing a very large building going on that. You have an exhibit showing that building, and if this access way is in, it would, that building would cover part of that access easement.
It's my understanding that it's more of a relocation of the easement than it is of doing away with the easement. So,
Ms. Ross?
I just want to make sure that we still have the little road down to the mall, correct?
They're proposing showing that as an easement.
Okay.
Under the plat that's coming to the city.
Is the property owner here? Because I had some questions on this, what was going.
He's here behind you, Robert. Greg Mueller, thank you, with Ashley Group.
Hey, Greg.
Not that I like to correct Robert Voiles, but this easement is basically an internal easement on Lakewood Village. There's not a cross-access easement to the lot that used to have Lone Star Steakhouse on it. So it does not cross that. There's been a fence across that access for the last 3 or 4 years, so there is not a cross-access. Yes, in our plans, we are going to dedicate, as soon as it's filed, it's been approved by the Planning Commission, putting another permanent access easement down to the property line where the existing road does go down to the mall. And we will dedicate that, make that an access easement, down to there. There's not a cross-access there either, with the mall. That's owned by Sears, and if they wanted to make that a cross-access at some point, we'd be glad to do that ourselves. But
you're going to pay for it, the road.
Yes, we are paying for the road. There'll be, like you said, there will be a building built over where this current access easement is. So that's why we're asking to remove it.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you're doing there? I've had a lot of questions. I didn't know if you were.
Anything exciting?
Yes.
It's exciting to us. It'll be about a 45,000-foot building. We'll be demolishing the old theater that has been vacant, the last couple months. And I'm not in a position to announce who it is, as far as who that is. But it'll be a new thing to the city of Little Rock, and it'll be a 45,000-foot building, very, very nicely done.
City of North Little Rock.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Adoption.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
01378, Mayor Smith.
Please call it.
An ordinance.
Hold on a minute.
No, that's me.
That's Charlie Young, sorry.
Please call it.
78, an ordinance reclassifying certain property located at the southeast corner of East 43rd Street and Richards Road in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas from I-2 to C4 classification by amending ordinance number 7697 of the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, adopting an amended land use plan for the subject property, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Motion to waive all readings.
Second.
On the motion.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Adoption, motion to move.
So moved.
How about a second? Mr. Taylor?
Questions? Mr. Voiles, you're on again.
Yes, sir.
So, it's my understanding that we're putting in a medical clinic,
That's correct.
and it is further my understanding that there was an issue with some parking. Did we get that resolved?
The Planning Commission's approved a site plan recommending a waiver of some of the parking. They're showing a 5,000 square foot building on a lot, and according to our zoning ordinance specs, it would require, if that follows the standard, it would require some overflow parking other places. But to put the parking, the building that he wants on the lot that's proposed, it would require some waiver of that parking, and the Planning Commission has approved that.
So, how many spots do they have and how many is required?
They're removing about, I think, 25% of what's required on the lot. It's a physical therapy clinic, and the land it's half of what's shown. The land that to the west of that is vacant. Should it turn out that they actually need more parking, there'll be vacant land adjoining it that can be acquired. But they are indeed asking for a fairly large medical clinic building, but it is physical therapy. We're not expecting the trip generation that some other clinics would require.
Thanks again, Mr. Boyles.
Okay, any other questions on the motion?
On the motion, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes,
On the
move for
motion.
adoption.
Second.
On the motion?
On the motion. Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Emergency, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
O 1379, Mayor Smith.
I think that's Baxter and Fouch.
Please call it.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 7697, the zoning ordinance, to establish Crystal Hill Road sign overlay district, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend all the rules.
Second.
On the motion?
Ross?
He's suspending the rules. What about the readings?
Suspend the readings?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
And I said yes.
Skip.
All right,
Do we need to call a public hearing on this one?
Counselor?
Public hearing on the,
Sign district.
Overlay district, sign overlay district. Robert, what's your opinion on that? Not to,
It's an amendment to your general rule. If you want to hold a public hearing, it wouldn't hurt a thing. It was proposed by one of the aldermen. They have the right to bring anything before you, but it is a general rule change. They're proposing adding another corridor where a changeable copy would be allowed under the LED ordinance. So
Counselor, you agree with that?
I guess they don't want to do it.
yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
Well, all this is just an extension from Maumelle Boulevard on up to, across 440 up to 40.
We're good. We just want to know if you want to call a public
30,
hearing.
I'm sorry, 30 and 430.
Okay. Do you want to have a public hearing, or do you want to call it tonight?
Thank you.
Go ahead and call it tonight.
You change your mind, I'll veto it. All right, do I have we suspended rules, how about an adoption? Ms. Ross, you want to ask a question? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is this to accommodate the sign at Wild River Country?
This area does encompass, or Wild River, in the area that it encompasses.
Okay.
But it's not for Wild River Country, if that's your question.
So it would not be seen, weren't they originally wanting to put it, on the backside where you could see it from 430? This will not...
That would have to be individually approved, right,
That will not
Robert?
include that, right? Not if it's in the sign district, it won't have to be approved, but...
I think this came from a service station that was asking for an LED, and they said, how do we get it done? And we said, well, this corridor doesn't allow it. So now whether this would allow Wild River Country, we haven't explored that. It does, Wild River Country fronts on a portion of Crystal Hill Road, so it very likely could. The sign they were proposing wasn't actually on Crystal Hill Road, it was on 430.
That's my concern. 430 is such a beautiful place. I'd hate to see, electronic copy signs going down 430 right now and ruin that beautiful view. So I'm just curious, so it could only go on, the signs could only go on the front side, they could not go on the back side, is that correct? In the front of Wild River Country?
I don't have a good answer
That was the
I'd like to
intent.
research that.
I mean, because it would still be on the property, but...
If somebody on Crystal Hill Road wanted to put an LED sign up, they'd have to make application, correct?
They'd ask for a permit, And if it was allowed by this general rule, we would issue the permit.
Okay.
They wouldn't come before you, it would just be
Okay.
permitted.
All right, so you understand what you're doing then. If you approve this, then LED signs can go up if it fits the criteria.
On the Crystal Hill side, not on the 430 side.
Clearly on Crystal Hill side, it would be allowed under this ordinance.
Okay, will you research that and?
Yes, I will.
All right, any other questions? All right, we waived readings. Ms. Ross?
Well, I don't want to vote on it until we know, because that's going to make a big decision for me. If they can put signs up on 430, I'm going to vote no. If it's just on Crystal Hill, I will vote yes, so.
I don't know that we can get that answer for you tonight, so we might want to hold this legislation. I'll do whatever you want to do.
I'd like to see you hold it, if we're not going to have a public hearing.
Time out for a sidebar.
Can we, Crystal Hill side of the road, on the Crystal Hill Road only? Or do you want to say,
How about an amendment that would just say
Yeah,
that
that's what I was,
this overlay would be on Crystal Hill Road only?
Would that be in order?
and that would clarify it?
Daniel, you all right? Mr. McFadden, you all right with that?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to state your amendment?
I want to amend that in the legalese it, if you will, legal, whatever, that those signs can only be on the frontage of Crystal Hill.
Crystal Hill Road.
So you're including that into this sign district? Is that?
You can only put the sign on the property that abuts Crystal Hill. You can't put it on the back side of the property, but
on the property's frontage.
Yes.
That abuts Crystal Hill Road.
Would that include the interstate?
That's what we were just discussing. No, not on the interstate.
Yes or no?
Does not include the interstate.
Crystal Hill Road only.
So the overlay district is to encompass only Crystal Hill Road.
Is that we hold it till we get definite answer? I'm not going to.
Okay. All right, Mr. Witcher?
Would y'all consider deleting section F entirely and leaving the rest of it as is? I'm asking the question.
That's the reason for this.
I'm going to have to say no.
Which section F?
So you understand, okay.
Hey,
That's why they're doing it. Why would they, F is why they want it.
Wouldn't that be defeating their purpose?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's call a point of order here. We got a motion to amend. Do we have a second on the motion to amend to include, to say that these signs are for Crystal Hill Road only?
Who wants one?
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Do I have any discussion on the motion to amend?
On the motion to amend, Ross?
Mr. Voyles has his hand up. I'd rather hear from him first, if you don't mind. Is that out of order, or?
Counselor?
I think one of the things City Council may wish to consider is an amendment to Section F that states electronic changeable copy signs. Electronic changeable copy signs are permitted within this district within 100 feet of Crystal Hill Road according to the regulations found in Section 14.19 A through C, D1, and D2 A or B, based upon the street classification where the sign is located.
Man, that sounds like a great amendment. Is that the amendment that you'd like to have?
In other words, within
I couldn't have
100
worded
feet of
it better
Crystal Hill Road.
myself.
Sounds like a good amendment.
They must be within 100 feet of Crystal Hill Road.
Okay, we got that? Everybody's got that? And it was seconded by Alderman Fouch?
Perfect.
Okay. All right, on the amendment.
On the amendment, Ross?
What are we voting on?
The amendment that Jason just stated?
Located with what he just said.
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Keller?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes.
All right, how about a motion to adopt as amended?
Motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
On the motion.
Motion to adopt as amended. Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
No.
On the emergency, Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
No.
1380, Alderman Taylor.
Please call it.
Ordinance approving a request to waive the requirements of the master street plan to provide half-street improvements for the extension of Progress Street in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On the motion to suspend?
Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes.
How about a motion to adopt?
So move.
Second? On the motion.
Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes.
On the emergency, Ross,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson,
Yes.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
Yes.
1381, Alderman Taylor.
Please call it.
An ordinance approving a variance for an electronic changeable copy sign on certain real property located at 2511 Highway 161 in the city of North Little Rock, Arkansas, declaring an emergency. First reading.
Move to suspend the readings.
Second.
On the motion to suspend?
Ross,
Yes.
White,
No.
Taylor.
Yes.
Robinson,
No.
Baxter,
Yes.
Fouch,
And this is just for the readings?
Yes.
Yes.
Height,
Yes.
and Witcher.
No.
What's the count?
5-3,
What is it?
5-3.
Do we got it? Mayor votes yes.
Okay.
Mr. Witcher?
Before we pass this in final form, could we have a discussion?
Absolutely.
Right.
Mayor Taylor, Mr. Taylor,
You ready?
please.
Here we go. This gas station was used to be a road runner years ago. Went from being a road runner to just a gas station with no flag. The tenant ran it down. I mean, it went from a very nice gas station to basically just a dump. The applicant has put about $300,000 into it, converting it into a mobile. We have lost several businesses in that area across the street. The Waffle House closed. If this gentleman wouldn't have came in and rehabbed this property, it would have closed. And he's just looking to put himself on an equal playing field with the rest of the businesses on that corridor with this sign. This area really needs some help. And normally I wouldn't be in favor of this, but I went down and I studied the property, and I think it'd just be a good fit.
Ms. Taylor? Ms. Robinson, I'm sorry.
My concern is that...
Is there a full moon tonight or something? I don't-
I
It
don't
must
know.
be.
Yeah.
My concern is that we agreed to where electronic changeable signs or changeable copy signs could be, in our ward. And 161 was not one of the areas that we considered. And I think that we allow them on certain portions of Broadway. So my vote was in keeping with what we have in place.
Ms. Ross?
You said to keep them on an even playing field with the others. Are there other electronic changeable copy signs all down through there, down 161?
Absolutely. There's one down on the corner of 161 and
That were
East Broadway.
that were grandfathered in, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Fouch?
So what makes this property any different than any other property that's come before this council, that because the other ones in the neighborhood were grandfathered in, this one should be the exception? I mean, that's, we just went through this last legislation because of that, so.
I don't know.
I know, so what I'm saying is why this particular property is being considered, you know, when other streets have grandfathered sites on the street, can they not come forward with theirs also simply because their neighbor has one grandfathered in?
Well, to answer your question, Mr. Fouch, I just think that considering the amount of money that the applicant has put into the facility, if you had went into that facility before this gentleman invested the money into that gas station, it did a 180-degree turnaround. He had another sign, another pole sign that I asked to be removed, and he's complying and he's doing all he can to make his facility be a very nice facility. New gas pumps, new awning, new frontage, this is sunk a lot of money into it, and I just think that for that corridor, if we would have lost another business, it wouldn't have been good. He has done an amazing job on that piece of property.
Ms. Robinson.
I think that, you know, and I agree, Mr. Taylor, that the business owner has invested a lot of money in this property, but I think if we allow this, we are setting a precedent, you know, because we do have laws in place. Now, what Ward 2 aldermen may need to do is to go back and make a portion of 161, you know, where we're able to do this, because if we allow him to do it, you know, McDonald's, Burger King, the other gas stations, you know, it opens the door for them to come in to do that. And I know we look at things on a case-by-case basis.
We absolutely do.
And we look at things on a case-by-case basis, but how can you tell one yes and then someone else come in and you tell them no? So what I think that we as aldermen who represent Ward 2, you know, if we're going to allow this, is that we need to make a portion of that corridor, you know, where they can do it.
Mr. Taylor?
Well, how we can do that on a case-by-case basis, Alderman Robinson, is a reasonable man bases his judgment on the evidence. And the evidence shows that the gentleman has done a great job investing money into the business, into the city, and into the neighborhood. And if McDonald's came and presented their case and they didn't have the evidence to support whether the sign was warranted or not, from this seat, I would be able to say no. And if they presented the case and it was warranted, I would be able to say yes. It just depends on how the case was presented. But in this particular case, I think it'd be an enhancement to the property.
Mr. Baxter.
Question for Mr. Voice. Have we approved any electronic changeable copy signs outside an overlay district?
I don't remember. I can't recall one. It is an option you can do.
Mr. Witcher?
Okay. And Mr. Taylor, I'll ask you this. And you know, I noticed that the overall height is 21 feet 8 inches for this. Okay, so is the goal to notice folks on the interstate, or is it for local individuals, or do you have an idea of what it is?
I think the goal was a dual purpose goal, but if there's an issue with height, I mean, we sure can address that and lower it. And I just want the members of the council to understand that all this is a gas station sign showing the prices.
Any other comments? Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion to adopt?
On the motion to adopt, Ross?
No.
White?
No.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
No.
Baxter?
No.
Couch?
No.
Height?
No.
And Witcher?
No.
I didn't hear you.
No.
Motion failed.
No. That includes legislation, I believe. How about, let's go to public comment section, and then we'll come back and get the council members.
Mayor, just one point of order. Need to make sure with Ms. Marshall that the council did actually vote on Resolution 13-165 and not just on the amendment.
Okay. What's your record show? You want to just go ahead and double dip on that one? Let's just approve it twice.
So moved.
About a second?
Second.
On the motion as amended.
The motion as amended, Ross?
Yes.
White?
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Robinson?
Yes.
Baxter?
Yes.
Couch?
Yes.
Height?
Yes.
And Witcher?
Yes.
Yeah, we voted on it because you voted no. We did vote on that because he voted no last time. I remember that. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, public comment section. Tonight's kind of gotten away from us, hasn't it? It's an hour and 45. James Ard.
I'd like to bring to your attention something that's on the back of the North Little Rock electric bills. Happened to me, I had to pay my winter gas bill a little bit alone because I'm on fixed income. So I called and asked, I do not have a copy of my bill, and it says on the back of the electric bill that if you've got your account number, you're okay. So then I called Energy, Reliant, got my account number. I come down, go through the drive up to pay it, and they refused to take it. I put on each one of your stands up there in front of you what it says, and it doesn't say anything. It says North Little Rock Utilities Accounting accepts the following payments: North Little Rock Electric, Central Arkansas Water, Comcast Cable, Reliant Energy, parentheses, must have account number. It doesn't say you have to bring your bill. And you need to change that because I'm probably not the only one that's run into that. I was fortunate enough to get Reliant Energy to fax a copy to the secretary. It sits out, well, it used to be Mr. Sesson's office, sits outside, and she got it. We was able to pay it. But that is very misleading, what you got on there. And I've asked some council members how they read it, and they agreed. You shouldn't have to have a copy of your bill. And your people, I called someone today, and they said, no, we can look all the bills up. I won't give the lady's name I talked to. Have a good evening.
Thank you. I don't have it, but I know it was Tom Cinco.
I don't know if I need to play this again, but I'm going to because this is an ongoing nuisance that I have going on in my neighborhood. We're right at 1 year now that this nuisance business, Nevada Railroad Materials, has located into our neighborhood. 9 months of serious stench and noise. This goes on. This was this past Saturday. They apparently are intent on working 6 days a week. And I know y'all love hearing it, but I sure do as well. It's something in my backyard every day. And I can continue. It goes on for 8 hours a day. The stench is still prevalent. This is obviously what I'm just asking once again, is to enforce the laws that we have on the books, and that are the nuisance laws. I'm not asking for anything new, anything other than someone in your past or the past of the history has taken the time to write and approve and vote on. This is a nuisance business. This weekend is one of the biggest things is Labor Day weekend. I have family members coming, and my biggest worry is not cleaning up the house for them, but it's the fact that I can't have them in my backyard because of the noise and the smell. We have to leave the city because of this long-term issue. And I've asked a number of times, and we've gotten to this point to where now it's time for the city, I would hope, to have an update where we would have some action taken. I've been here, obviously, we've gone through the interrogations with the police department. We've filed all the information required of the city. If there's more you need to act on this nuisance business that not only causes severe smell, but obnoxious noises that are ruining our property values in Argenta. The race is coming soon. Susan B. Cohen, we're going to have 30, 40,000 people running right down that street, right in front of this area that stinks, just like creosote, which is a known cancer-causing agent. So I think there's a lot of irony in that. But I would just like for everyone to know that to not let this happen again. I don't want to fight this battle just for me and then someone else happening in this neighborhood. I think something that before a new business comes in, or a new innovation technology center, or somebody wants to make a change in the city as it is, that there is some form of impact study done. And those people that want to bring that business or that entity into the city has to pay for that impact, because they're going to be the one that benefits it. Yes, it still wouldn't, if you had neighborhood impact studies, this business would have still been allowed to exist in the city because it came in under the radar. It was over there on Union Pacific's property, and until just recently, anything that happened on UP's property was fine with us. But I understand now that is no longer the way it is. And I would just like something to be done quickly as soon as possible. And, it's to the time where we're well over a year into this, and we would like for something to happen, and happen quickly. Thank you. Thank you.
Any aldermen have any comments tonight? Mr. Taylor?
Mowing down on Faulkner Lake Road. The grass is extremely high, and they're asking for the ditches to be mowed down by Stone Links. And then again, over behind Valier, the grass is, there's a 6 feet tall fence, there's a 6 feet tall privacy fence, and the grass is taller than the fence.
Where's that?
Over on 165 and Campbell Road, taller than the fence.
Okay, Ms. Robinson?
I have a comment. I know that homes that are boarded up and where the owners do not maintain the property, the city cut the grass. And to my dismay, in them cutting the grass, they just leave the grass. They let the grass get about, I don't know how tall, but then they just go in and just run the mower and cut it and just leave the grass there. So are they not to clean the grass up, take the grass up, just leave it?
I mean, we certainly could, but we have, the volume there is so great that if we stopped to rake the grass, we would never get half of them done. So.
And I know some of the neighbors, I mean, especially where these homes are next door to these folks, they're afraid of being charged with trespassing, if they maintain the grass, or if they go over there and clean up the grass, so.
You tell them to go ahead and do it, and I'll be right there with them, and if they ever get it.
Because the
Chief
banks,
Davis, will you arrest anybody for mowing the grass? No, absolutely not. Okay, we're good to go there, Linda. So.
Okay. And the second thing, back to the legislation regarding the mobile gas station, and I admit that the gentleman has made some improvements. It looks really good. So maybe as Ward 2 aldermen, we may need to consider making a portion of that corridor an overlay, a signed overlay district.
Would you be a co-sponsor on that legislation, Councilwoman?
I would be a co-sponsor on that, but that's what, we may need to do, a portion of it.
Well, we'll move that forward, Councilwoman.
Okay, then.
Any other comments? Ms. Ross?
I'm just curious, I just thought of this. Friday night when the barges broke loose, and the Little Rock Fire Chief was in North Little Rock on the news. I didn't understand that.
Got
What was-
trapped over here.
Is that common for the Little Rock Fire Chief to come to?
Well, there are
North Little Rock?
fireboats on our side of the river,
Okay, so he was with their fireboat then over here.
or he was following the cameras, one or the other.
Okay, curious. I just thought I wanted to see our fire chief.
Wait, let me go this way. Mr. Baxter.
Mayor, just to throw out there that according to the weatherman, it's supposed to get really, really hot this towards the end of the week. And if it gets to the extreme temperatures, we will have our heat relief center open? Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Heat relief centers will be open when it reaches, what is it? It's like 100.
100 degrees
Yeah.
or 105 heat index.
Mr. Taylor?
The ribbon cutting for the Rockwater Marina Thursday morning, 11 o'clock. I think yours truly is on program. We'd like to invite the other council members to come down to this fine event down in Ward 2. And
11 o'clock Thursday morning. Big event. Ms. Robinson?
Mayor, I have one final comment. I don't want us to forget about the fire station out east, so,
Met on it this week.
okay,
Actually, last week.
all right.
I'd like to say one thing, just to remind everyone, and I believe all of you have been invited, I believe it's on your calendars, that the little Central Arkansas Water Summit that we're going to have September the, whatever date it is, 5th.
September 5th.
I really would like for everyone to be there. Their city council, Little Rock City Council will be there, and I would like for all of us to be there also. It'll be a good hour and a half, 2 hours worth of information that will help us make decisions in the future. And also, September 26th is the Chamber of Commerce Family Fun Fest at Dickey Stevens Park, and that's a lot of fun too, September the 26th. Anybody else? How about a motion?
Second.
On a motion.
Ross. White. Taylor. Robinson. Baxter.
Yes.
Fouch.
Yes.
Height. And Richard.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.